There was once a man who believed he understood the meaning of attachment. Like many people, he thought attachment meant clinging to things, a house, a person, a place, a memory. He imagined attachment as something visible, something that could be pointed at with a finger and named. But one day he began to realize something unsettling. He did not miss the objects themselves. He missed the sensations they produced inside him. A song was not important because of the sound itself, but because of the feeling it awakened. A person was not important because of their presence, but because of the emotions that rose within him when they were near. It was like a drug. No one becomes addicted to a substance simply because it sits quietly inside a bottle. The addiction appears only when the body remembers the sensation it produces. And slowly, he began to understand something deeper. Attachment was not about objects at all. Attachment was about expectation. Every attachment was the silent hope that a certain feeling would return. He began noticing how much of his life was built on this invisible mechanism. Human beings, he realized, are creatures of habit. Habits are small routines that create the illusion of safety. Turning off the light when leaving a room, closing the toilet lid, respecting silence at certain moments, putting things back where they belong. These small gestures seem trivial, almost insignificant, yet when someone breaks them, something inside us becomes disturbed. A strange irritation appears. The man remembered a small moment that revealed this truth to him. Someone once borrowed his pen while he was writing notes in a book. They scribbled across the page, smudging the fresh ink of the last sentence he had written. The reaction inside him was immediate and surprisingly intense. Even remembering it now produced discomfort. He realized that what bothered him was not the pen, nor the ink, nor the paper. It was the interruption of expectation. The mind had imagined a certain order, and reality had broken it. And if such a small event could create such tension, how many invisible attachments were guiding his life every day? He had spent years trying to free himself from the great attachments, relationships, ambitions, dreams of greatness. But he had overlooked the smallest ones. Yet everything large is built from what is small. A human body appears as a single form, but it exists only because trillions of particles cooperate in silence. Without those invisible elements, the body would dissolve. In the same way, the great attachments of life were nothing more than the accumulation of countless tiny expectations. But the man discovered another tension within himself. He loved seeing the bigger picture of things. He often spoke about the universe, about consciousness, about the hidden structures that shape reality. And sometimes he feared that speaking about such things might make him appear arrogant. Was it pride to speak of a larger vision? The answer came slowly. Pride does not come from seeing far. Pride comes from believing that one's vision is the only one that matters. To consider a grain of sand more important than the entire beach is ignorance. But to admire the vastness of the beach while despising the grains of sand is also ignorance. True understanding lives between the two. The universe is both the ocean and the drop, the mountain and the stone, the whole and the detail. And then the man understood something, about humility that had been misunderstood for centuries. Humility does not mean lowering your head. It does not mean making yourself smaller. The word itself comes from the earth, from humus. To be humble is simply to remain connected to the ground beneath your feet. A tree does not become smaller because its roots are deep. On the contrary, its strength depends on them. The same is true for human beings. Greatness is not lost when we bow down to learn from someone else. Greatness is revealed by the ability to do so. History remembers a moment when a teacher washed the feet of his disciples. It did not make him smaller. It revealed the depth of his understanding, because the truly great are not afraid to kneel. They are not afraid to ask questions. They are not afraid to learn. The pride of ignorance says, "I know, and you do not." But the humility of wisdom says something much simpler. "I share." And in that moment, the man realized something profound. Human beings are extraordinary creatures, capable of infinite understanding, yet living inside fragile bodies filled with limitations. Each person carries a piece of the truth, and the path of wisdom is not to prove who is right. It is to share what we see and to remain open to what others reveal. For in the smallest acts of daily life, in a word, a gesture, a mistake, a question, the universe continues to teach itself through us. And the more we remember this, the more firmly our feet return to the earth, where true humility begins.